80% of any kind of safety incidences that we have were really around behavior.
Do you think bending your legs would be better than bending over with your back?
People are communicating, they're talking about safety, they're keeping an eye on their buddies. Seems to me that you know what you're doing with your tools and equipment.
That's right, it gets everyone thinking.
Did you realize you didn't have your glasses on?
The focus becomes a little bit more clear on what you're doing. Private places didn't realize.
Safety is talked about every single day on the site.
Mind if I do an observation of you?
Go right ahead.
The guys think about what they do before they do it now.
Well, you did a good job of keeping your eyes on your work.
It's just created a whole new train of thought.
Pero más de eso, era muy buen trabajo. Gracias. And keeping, making sure that everybody's safe.
I noticed while you were screwing in, you kept your eyes on the work.
Welcome to BBS.
Welcome to BBS.
Bienvenidos al programa de BBS.
Welcome to Linbeck, BBS.
I'm Dave Diedrich, Safety Manager for Linbeck. Behavior-based safety, or BBS, is different from traditional safety programs. It's driven by the workers with the full support of management. So let's meet Linbeck's people and let them tell you what behavior-based safety is.
BBS is the behavior-based safety program.
The behavioral part of construction.
For years we made sure handrails were in place and guards were on saws and all that, and we still had people getting hurt, and we took this new approach.
In the old days, it was force-fed from top down. This is a bottom-up. It's reinforced from the bottom up where the employees are buying in. It's their program.
So this gives an opportunity for field employees to take ownership of their own program.
The employees do observations on one another and give back positive feedback.
Men go out in the field and talk to each other and tell them what we think is safe or not safe.
You're not forcing people to do something. You agree what they're telling you, and you also learn from them.
The whole process is designed to be a positive thing, both from participation and the feedback, and not negative like other safety programs might be.
We don't punish people. It's not used against them. It's only to help them think about safety.
There is a steering committee who manages the program at each site that sets goals.
The steering committee is made up of employees in the field.
It empowers you to watch out for your employee. It empowers the employee to watch out for you.
What it's really doing is it's making safety a very integral part of the employee's job, of the craftsman's job.
Observations and feedback are the core activity in BBS. It requires one employee to watch another employee working to see if they're performing tasks in a manner that will not get them hurt. Then the observer gives feedback, preferably positive, and here's how that works.
A guy would, if he's ready to do an observation, has a minute or two in his day.
He will go let his foreman know that he's going to do an observation.
We have clipboards with observation sheets posted at strategic locations around the job site.
It's a form that has your name, the date, the time, the weather, the task at hand that the person you're doing an observation on is performing, the area, and the subcontractor's name.
It's anonymous. The person who is being observed is not recorded on the form.
Go pick a subject, another employee, or it might be another employee in the same business, or even another subcontract employee.
You walk up to a person that you see is doing something.
First we go up and say, can we observe you? And they either say, I'm busy, or yes. We don't push them. It's a purely voluntary thing.
And what we'll do, we'll stand back and just watch them work.
You don't say anything right off the bat, you just watch them work.
The observer goes through the form and observes the work activity that's taking place and looks for specific safe behaviors or concerns.
You want to concentrate more on your safe practices than anything.
If I see him with cords or something, you know, and plugged in. He had to have a GFI.
And if you find a concern, of course, you want to correct it at that point.
You go over with the person that you observed the good things that they did safety-wise.
John, you did a real good job. You're wearing your safety glasses, you got your hard hat, you give them positive feedback, and if there's a concern or two, you just give them one and you do it positive.
Try to discuss that with them in a positive manner.
Your ladder's over a bunch of trash. Don't you think it'd be better if you cleared it and you wouldn't hurt yourself?
The employee tells him about a concern, but he just mentions it, so it's kind of like a little tickler in the back of the brain, but he focuses on the positive side.
Get information back from one another and thank him for it and go on.
And then return the form back to the BBS station.
It's basically a 2 to 3 minute process. It's very quick and very effective.
It's proactive in a sense that you are doing an observation and you are then constructively giving feedback to an employee about what they're doing right or wrong before an accident is happening. You're being able to observe and to give them feedback on very little things, on the small things. And that's what's going to make the difference to having 0 accidents.
Let's take a look at some real observations done at Linbeck. First, a simple observation where one worker observes another using a circular saw. Watch how positive this observation is.
You mind if I do an observation of you?
Go right ahead.
All right. Wayne, if you take a look here at the clipboard, what I was observing was you were doing a good job of wearing your eye and face protection. And you're doing a good job of keeping your work area clear and organized. Yeah, I see you have your GFI in place. You're doing a really good job. Is there any concerns that you have that we need to address with the steering committee?
I don't believe I do. Not at this time.
Okay. Well, you did a really good job. Thanks for letting me observe you.
Okay.
Keep up the safe work.
All right.
He positively reinforced the safe behavior, but what if you see something unsafe that concerns you? Watch how 2 workers work together to come up with a solution to eye protection.
Okay, well, Eric, I've got some feedback for you. Good job on all your PPE, hat, glasses, vest, and then being aware of your surroundings. And in your work area, clear and organized, but we had one little incident when you walked out without your glasses.
Okay.
Did you realize you didn't have your glasses on?
When I was running the instrument, I was used to not wearing them, and then I just walked out here to do the other one.
Oh, just trading places?
Trading places and didn't realize.
Well, what can we do to solve that next time?
As we trade positions, remind the other person as they're walking by or whatever, don't forget your glasses.
Or vice versa, yeah.
Or vice versa.
Just like when you get to the gun, you got to take your glasses off.
Right.
Sounds good. Thank you.
Okay.
Good job.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
That's the Linbeck culture, people working together to solve a problem. Now, workers setting peer caps. Watch what can happen when concerns are expressed.
Do you think bending your legs would be better than just bending over with your back?
Well, I'm sure medically it is, but the old habits, why, don't even think about it, just bend over and go.
Well, you think you could try bending with your legs instead of bending over with your back?
Yeah, I've tried it a few times.
Thank you for doing a good job.
All right, you're welcome.
When the observation was over, the observer had to walk the walk and bend his knees also. Nothing wrong with peer approval to get people to improve work habits.
We found that the person doing the observations actually learns more than the person being observed.
It's a one-on-one, and it becomes personal.
When I work, I may be right there with him and let him do an observation on me.
When everyone does observations, it makes for a safer job because we are watching each other and observing what they do. and it's a team effort that we enjoy.
The more observations you get, yes, the job site is getting safer because you have more conversations about safety, and it influences more people to work safe.
You have the persons that will turn in 3 to 4 observations a week where their goal is 2, and then you may have 1 or 2 that will just turn 1 in, and they motivate each other.
We have 40 or 50 safety meetings a week now with the observations is what it amounts to.
A peer coming to another peer and saying, hey, I'm really concerned about your behavior is really a reflection of the teamwork that happens throughout Linbeck, where we're collaborative, we work together, and we want everybody to go home safely at the end of the day.
So what makes me feel good is the observations are taking place, and I know we're doing everything we can so that everyone goes home uninjured.
When the observation and feedback are complete, it isn't over. The steering committee, which is made up of field employees, is challenged to find ways of correcting concerns. Take a look at how our steering committees are making a difference.
The steering committee is made up of employees in the field, you know, not your management. I mean, management can kind of help steer you along and answer questions that we have, but it's more important that the people in the steering committee solve their own problems and try hard to learn.
We have all sorts of field hands, field engineers, laborers, carpenters, ironworkers have all served on the steering committees for the projects that we have.
The steering committee collects all the data, they collect the concerns, then they go to management with it. Management needs to do something with it.
Well, we go through all our observations and see if they're correct and single out the concerns.
And then we meet and go over them and see if there's something wrong with the job that we need to get taken care of, see if there's some unsafe conditions or something unsafe has been happening.
Let's say Area 7 has a lot of trash or a messy area. A solution might be from the steering committee to add a trash can in that area to solve that problem.
It gives them an opportunity to study whether there's a trend about that concern and whether it's a widespread trend or we just have a spot situation.
And then we would discuss the concern at the safety meeting the following Monday morning, so that way it gets back to everybody.
So it's not only concerns, anything positive. Certain things that they see that's really working well, they'll address it and say, this is really working, this is great, let's work as a team, and it works.
They know the individuals that are out on that job and what's going to motivate them in order to do better. So the steering committee is great, it's essential, and I really commend those people who work on that committee.
Our posting boards are how we communicate BBS. At this location, the steering committee posts results. And with this data, we reward performance and celebrate reaching goals.
We set goals and we try to keep them short term every 4 weeks usually.
The employees go out there and try to achieve that goal, whether it's 60%, 80%, or 100% for 1 week, 2 weeks, a month. That's the goal setting at the steering committee level, and then the employees try to achieve it.
And if we reach that goal, we get a dinner or a gift, whatever we choose.
We also have a board up by the office that tracks all the progress of the employees, the safes, the concerns, the reward process.
The employees can simply walk by, glance at them, they see the safes versus the concerns, which are usually, the safes are way up here and the concerns are minor for the most part, and they can be proud for themselves.
It puts a value on the number. You're actually able to see what items you've been tracking on a certain job site. Each job site has a specific observation list, so it gives you a measured results instead of just saying we have 0 accidents. Well, what have you done correctly?
You can see the percentages as to not only as a group, but as an individual, as to what your percentage is.
We have 2 types of celebrations. We have the group celebration, which is a goal set by the steering committee for participation within the trained observer.
On a weekly toolbox meeting, we might have donuts, we might have kolaches.
Barbecue luncheon or or even certificates.
We do, like we have fajita dinners or chicken lunches or pizza or something, but
And then you also have individual rewards where the individual has a set goal of 2 or 3 observations each week, and you have to do those for 4 weeks, and then you get an individual reward of a hammer, gloves, tape measure, or whatnot.
Something so simple as just a small trinket, it just makes a person happy. When you have a large group of people standing there and they see their buddy getting something and they're not because they haven't participated, eventually it's going to turn them around to like they feel left out.
Each one of us in the steering committee has trained these individuals, and to make them understand this is not just to get a gift, or this is for their own safety.
You're being rewarded for actually participating in the program. So if you participate for just doing your observations and talking to other people about safety, that's when you're helping out and you're being rewarded for that participation.
It's a look at our future. It's not a look at, oh, we had so many accidents or anything like that. It's all about a positive goal that we're all working towards to all go home at night and be safe.
Having them make their own decisions as to what their goals are as far as a group and as individuals, and also as to how they're going to celebrate as far as when they reach their goal, that makes a big difference. If they want to have Lisa's chicken for 3 times in a row, it's their decision, and if they're happy with it, that's great.
If they participate and create the data, that's what reward is based upon. That's what we're looking for. And people who participate will become better.
I've even had some of them come up and say, hey, I'm actually using this at home.
Say you're at home, for instance, and you're mowing the grass, you make you think, should you have some glasses on so you don't get a rock in your eye or something like that?
I tend to set up my ladder a little better, or kind of keep those kind of practices in mind at home too.
It gets entranced and stamped into your mind to where you actually take it home and use it at the house.
It's good to be safe on the job site, but if you make safe practices at home, it's just beneficial for everyone.
One of my grandbabies, she works at a fast food service, and I said, you be around burners and all kind of cooking and hot places, right? So she said, yeah, Papa. So what I did, I said, let me show you something.
And I want that same feeling between the men, just like family.
You care about your individual worker, the friend you're with, or your colleague. We know you care about your family and your friends, so it just makes sense. You ought to take what you learn at work and take it home if it applies. And I feel really great that that's happening.
As you have seen, BBS is everyone's program. It's your program, and it will help improve safety. It requires your participation to succeed, so do an observation today.
I challenge you to do an observation.
Don't forget to do an observation.
Please do an observation.
Do an observation so you can go home to your family.
Look out for your fellow employees.
Look out for your fellow iron workers.
Do it for your family.
And look out for your co-workers.
Look out for your co-workers and your grandkids.
Por favor, hagan una observación.
Would you please do an observation?
Look out for your fellow employees by doing an observation today. Thank you.